Welcome to 27 Boxes, to my little project space, Stokvel Art Gallery. It's a space run by artists for artists. And as you can see, our latest 27-year-old artist, it's not just for the really young, but for the really young at heart as well. So, it's a great privilege and honor to open the show. I opened Moira's last solo show, and at the end she said, "Never again." And here we are for the 27th solo show of Moira MacMurry. Moira started a couple of years ago, and she said, "I've got this idea. I want to show my drawers in public." I said, "Well, I don't know if that's particularly a good idea, but let's talk about it." And then at a later point she said, "You know, it has to be about boxing. And I couldn't imagine the kind of pugilistic approach to art making by somebody over the age of 50. But anyway, the result is what you see here are these quite magnificent, very, very nostalgic series of boxes. If you look carefully, a lot of them are in fact drawers, hence the drawers. And Moira has this kind of process of magpieing the city. As she drives along, she'll suddenly say, "David, stop!" And they will leap out on this side of the road where there will be All Blessing, who's chuckling in the back. He's often the commandeer. Or David will go home and fetch him and say, "There's some drawers laying in a traffic circle outside of Linden. Let's go and fetch them." I was on my way to an exhibition in Linden, and I thought, "Oh, I better stop and pick those drawers up for Moira on the way." And I came back and they were gone. So I arrived and I said to her, "Sorry, you know, there were these drawers." And she said, "We went and fetched them." So beaten to the magpie, as it were. But I think what, you know, those of us who've known Moira for more than 27 years know that she's used art as her medium for many years to put her kids through school, to buy properties, to run her B&Bs. Art has always been the medium that's allowed her the freedom to have a business, as it were, instead of the other way around. So we've always applauded the fact that she's used art as her way to make it in this world. In addition to that, she's always been a kind of very creative kind of person within a certain framework. And as our kind of friendship has developed over the years... You what?
Not a box.
No, she thinks outside of the box, yeah. As our friendship has developed over the years, she came to me and said, "Well, I need mentoring. I need to move away from making, in her own words, the pretty cat pictures and the things that we've known her making for many years. I want to become a contemporary artist. I want to move away from that towards something that is more thought-provoking and more sustainable." So over the last particularly 15 years or so, we've been working on sculptural projects. Moira's done a couple of little sculpture pieces, but she's never really been a sculptor. And for the rooftop exhibition, she made a life-size wedding cake that was on the roof with a big machete knife in it, and things like that. So she was challenged to really move outside of her comfort zone into something that became a little more challenging for her, both physically, mentally, and also in terms of the type of work she makes, to a point where she's now got a voice of her own. With this particular project, as any of you have been to her very uncluttered house, you will know that there's so much here that you've seen in her house already. You know, she's now found a way to order that house slightly by putting it into these drawers or boxes to make them kind of work. And in doing that, it's helped her to get a focus on certain aspects. The show is, in a sense, an exhibition of people. There's the angler, there's the photographer, there's the explorer, various different types of people, almost archetypes of people, that are represented through the bric-a-brac and the assemblage of what she has gathered over the many, many years. And at times for her it's been quite hard, like the Artmore things, to be able to let go of it and place it within her artwork rather than saying, well, it's got to stay with the rest of the Artmore collection. For those of you worried about the heritage, it's a chipped one, so don't worry. You can't buy it for 3,000 Rand and sell it for 10. It's not going to work that way, yeah. But in doing so, she's kind of called to mind the different kind of people that we know and have met and have come across in our lifetime. And there are little moments within each of them. Something else that is quite interesting about the show is that there's a sense of nostalgia. Linda was saying just now that she was quite moved by the show. There's a sense of nostalgia, things you remember from your childhood, things that reoccur. That you say, oh damn, I remember when my dad had that, or you know, that was my kind of car, my first car in the 60s kind of thing. And there's that sense of kind of nostalgia. But there's also a sense of slight decay, which I think is Moira's way of talking about the fact that there's an aging process. The objects are aging, the time is aging, the boxes are aging, we are all aging. Time is running out, perhaps not for me, but, but that there's a kind of sense of an aging that happens. And every now and again we see the memento mori type thing of a fly in the wine, or a moth that has come to settle on a book, or something like that. And it makes us start realizing where we fit into the world in some kind of way, and that we too shall pass in our own kind of way. Moira, I'm incredibly proud of you. I'm incredibly proud of the progress that you make, and that you keep making, and that you keep inventing, and that you've put quite a remarkable and very, very beautiful exhibition together. I like the fact that a lot of the backgrounds have been well considered, the colours of the boxes, the thing. It's not just, well, we could put a whole lot of stuff in a box and put it on the wall. It's been a lot more kind of thought that's gone into it than that. And I think this is a really nice, mature, solid body of work. And so, huge congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Well, my thanks go to Gordon in more ways than one. This wouldn't have happened if those 4 boxes on that wall there, we hadn't beaten him to it when they were found in Parkwood, next to a dustbin. And I said to David, please stop, we're on our way to Morningside Clinic. I said, please stop, I need those things, I'm sure I can do something with them. No, says David, we're late. Gordon goes along, sees the same boxes, but he's also late for somewhere. So he goes back after he's, whatever he was doing, and the boxes are gone. He comes round for a drink and he says, I'm so upset, I saw all these boxes, all these drawers. He says, and when I went back, they were gone. I said to him, well, when we went back, we were lucky. And if it wasn't for Gordon, who really is such a fabulous friend, I wouldn't be having this exhibition today, and I wouldn't be where I am today. And so thank you, Gordon.
Yes, you would.
Thank you.
Yes, Moira, enjoy the day.
I've got a